Hi, my name is Rick Solomon, and I'm a developmental behavioral pediatrician whose clinical practice and research have been dedicated over the last 25 years to young children with autism. In this short video today, I want to talk to you about important recent research on a type of autism intervention model that helps parents help their children who have autism to make good social gains. And social deficits are at the core of autism. This is very exciting new research. These models are called parent-implemented models because they're provided by the parent to the child with a developmental and relationship-based approach because it's focused on playful interaction. It's also known as developmental social pragmatic because these interventions use a developmental framework that focuses on useful or pragmatic social functioning and language abilities to help young children improve in their interaction, their emotional intelligence, and their imagination, all of which are really important for social relationships. So I want to briefly describe the key elements of parent-implemented models, make the argument that we should be adopting these models as smart public policy. But before I do that, let me talk about this research because this is the big news. Between 2014 and 2019, there have been 4 reviews of the scientific literature. So this is not my opinion. This is based on reviews by others who have analyzed the science behind parent-implemented models that use a developmental relationship-based approach. Altogether, there are over a dozen very rigorous studies that use excellent methodology that show 2 things. First, parents can learn the methods or key elements of this approach that I'll be talking about next. And second, the children who get this intervention, this intensive intervention, make significant gains in their social development and communication. So the research is solid. And this has really important implications for our field, which is why I wanted to make this video in the first place. So what's the approach? So while there are several parent-implemented programs, they all share the same common elements. And these include, they use a developmental framework based on normal, typical child development. They use a natural play-based approach in a natural setting, usually in the home. They ensure that interaction are child-initiated. This is critically important. It's about the child's idea. And they target general social communication skills like interaction that are the foundation for verbal communication. So the key methods involve reading the child's cues to see what the child wants to do and then following the child's idea. And then the whole idea is once you enjoy being with the child, then the child interacts with you in a back and forth fashion. We call these circles of communication or the interactional process. And perhaps most importantly, it's fun, it's playful. The child likes the intervention. That's why they want to engage with you. And what I often say is that when you do what the child loves, then the child will love to be with you. And that's not typically what children with autism do. So it's important to mention here that these types of parent-implemented models don't use operant conditioning or teaching as a primary method. There's little or no prompting or use of external rewards. It's really the reward is the fun and being with people in a way that they love. So these are, and it's important also to mention that these methods are complementary to other programs. So you can use parent-implemented models with speech and language, occupational therapy, ABA, school. All right, let me finish with public policy. Okay, and answer the question, how can we help the most children with autism in a high quality yet cost-effective way? I've seen just too many children who are not getting services because our society has not been providing these services in a cost-effective way or making them available. And children with autism need intensity and it's hard to do. So intensity means 15 to 25 hours per week, one-on-one. It's got to be engaging. It should be evidence-based and address their most important diagnostic needs, especially social skills. So recently, a research paper came out in JAMA by a guy named Mandel. And by the way, all the research I'm talking about, you can get on the link below this video. Anyway, Mandel and his group studied the states that have passed laws that cover autism therapies, and which this reference is also included in the link below. And what they found was that while the insurance mandates did increase the number of kids who got services, there were still thousands, tens of thousands of children nationally who aren't getting services. So we need an intervention model that can be distributed on a large scale, like training parents, because when parents are trained, then they can provide the intensity of services in the home. And broad implementation of this parenting training model could really get thousands of children off waiting lists, so it would be great public policy. In fact, more early intervention systems are implementing these models, including California, Ohio, Illinois, Minnesota, and more insurance companies are covering them because it just makes total sense, like Kaiser Permanente, TRICARE, which is the military insurance, and Medicaid. So tell your colleagues about this, quote, new evidence-based intervention. It's been around for a while, but the research has caught up with the clinical practice. Talk to the medical directors of insurance companies, to the leaders of early intervention services, and tell parents, ask for parent-implemented models. So let's get these evidence-based services to as many children as possible. Thanks for listening.